Domino. Domino. Domino.
Domino. What are the chances this person comes while we're recording?
What's the chance that I come during this recording?
Pretty dang good.
Pretty damn high. Domino.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Written and directed by Ryan Coogler, also written by Joe Robert Cole, starring Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Danai Guerra, Winston Duke, Angela Bassett, Tenoch Huerta, and Martin Freeman, and many other people.
A lot of people in there.
Trevor Noah's in there apparently for a second. I don't remember him being in there. Anderson Cooper plays himself in this, as he usually does whenever they need news stuff. So
I fall under that category where I don't want to see real news people playing themselves in movies. It happens all the time.
it does. I don't care enough.
Yeah.
I like it when it's like local people. Like every now and then you'll see like a local Philly
that
person
makes
in a
sense.
Philly.
But if every time we see a movie and there's Anderson Cooper or Ben Shapiro or somebody political, I'm just like,
Ben Shapiro.
But yes, we did just see Black Panther 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
The latest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, the big story going into this is Chadwick Boseman not being with us anymore. And, of course, they made this film a send-off for him in which he does not appear other than archive footage. And I think now is a good time to remind and warn people who are new to this channel. I don't care about Marvel. I don't care about the MCU. So you should take everything I say with a grain of salt and remember that it doesn't bother me that you like the MCU or you love the MCU. You probably think I'm wrong, and that's fine. I don't really care.
We should probably come up with like a Marvel edit or DC edit.
DC edit where it's just all...
We're gonna fuck on your favorite franchise.
I was going to say we could edit all the negative things I say out. And it's just me, it just starts off with me going, it's, and then I say something bad, but then you only cut to me going, good.
It movie.
It movie. But yeah, Glenn, a little more of a Marvel fan than me, but kind of is...
Straying the path.
Yeah, straying the path a little bit. Not because of me. I didn't try to persuade him to do this.
It's just, there's no break.
There's no break.
It's just been constant the last.
Yeah, it's even more so with
forever.
Disney Plus series. But yeah, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. If you loved it, or if you love all Marvel things, that's great. I'm happy for you. Happiness is something we should hold on to.
And keep near and dear.
And keep near and dear. But also, I have opinions, and this is my channel, so I can say whatever I want. I was very disappointed with this.
Interesting.
I had slight expectations for this. Not to be amazing, because I don't think any Marvel movie will ever be amazing ever again. Even the ones that I like Thor, Ragnarok, and whatnot, they're not amazing. They're just fun. I really just felt like this... There's things I liked, which was about like how the underlying theme is grief. But then it also just does the same Marvel stuff over and over again to the point where like nothing felt like danger at all. But that's also the case with all Marvel movies. But it was also just kind of flat tonally for me. I know you and I hope it wasn't me influencing you, but we were kind of laughing at things that probably should not have been laughed at.
Sometimes you can't help but to laugh at someone getting their ass beat or some things happening that I cannot say out loud at the moment. I've got an NDA.
But yeah, I was more disappointed in this than I thought it would be. Haven't been disappointed in a Marvel movie in a long time, but that's also because I've had zero expectations.
And on that note, I can say, because I had no expectations for this movie, it exceeded my expectations for this movie.
Is this the first that we're gonna like break from?
I think a little bit.
A little bit.
Where like you were saying, it was flat. This is a 2-hour and 50-minute movie, so there's
2 hour 40, I thought.
there's somewhere in between there. It was damn near almost 3 hours. And
Yes.
if this guy walks up to us, I'm going to be pissed. But there's moments where it does feel flat, but a lot of that almost, whatever it is, almost 3 hours that it was, I didn't really stop to think, man, this is going so slow or anything like that. I was having fun with it. I think the story twist of, honestly, two really big cultures in this. I like the way Marvel's going with a lot of culture in this franchise lately. And I keep wanting to say Mandarin, and I know it's not Mandarin. Mayan. Thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, back of the head, Glenn. A huge part of the culture in this one is not only obviously Wakanda, but also Mayan and Mexican culture as well. Mm-hmm. And it could have used a lot more. I think it could have spent a lot more time in that region, but it did not. Yeah. But that's okay. I like that it's exploring more.
I would
kind of giving us different branches of such. That guy is super late for Black Panther 2. Holy shit.
Or we forgot something.
That too. But yeah, I liked that a lot. I liked the whole thing with the grief, the whole theme of it and all that. There's some things, obviously, I have to nitpick, but I don't want to do that without spoiling, and I don't want to spoil this review. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it was super, super tasteful that they didn't put Chadwick in it.
Yes. I was worried.
Other than the archive stuff,
yeah.
But like even then, they didn't do it too much. Like it felt right. Like in the beginning, you know how they're like doing their like opening like scroll of like Marvel.
That was
comics.
very sweet, actually. I like that.
It was awkward at the moment.
That was because it was silent.
It was dead silent.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, it was a really just sweet touch where obviously you see Iron Man and Captain America coming through the little panel flipping for the Marvel comic logo, but it was just Chadwick scenes and stuff like that, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then you never really see him too much throughout the movie. It's just kind of flashbacks, obviously, of stuff that happened in past movies. And the biggest thing that I was hoping, I think both of us for sure were hoping, is that they didn't stray too long on his death. They kind of moved. Obviously, it was lingering over everybody's heads, but it wasn't like a main theme for like an hour or something like that. It was just...
It was not the deer hunter of...
Yeah. Like it was in and out like of people talking about it, but it wasn't like let's talk about it type thing, which was really nice.
Yeah. Talking about the aftermath more than the actual thing.
Yeah, because we know what happened. I mean, obviously we don't know what happened to the character. We know what happened. We don't need to linger on it more. We need to... I like that Ryan Coogler was like, let's just push forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of expectations that I had none because I didn't know where this was going to go, and I'm glad a lot of it went the direction it did, which was moving forward instead of just kind of sitting back and let's reminisce and let's do all this.
Mm-hmm.
And I like I said, I do have nitpicks, but I don't want to spoil anything, so... There's moments where it felt flat, and there's a character in there where I felt like she did not deserve something that she got to do in the movie. That's a thing that I cannot spoil any further on that. NDA.
I'm curious to see what he's talking about, but we'll talk about that after the camera. Mm-hmm. Going back to what you said about the pacing, I would agree that it felt much faster than the 2 hours 40 minutes. Where I will disagree is that I felt like it could have slowed down a little bit. I felt like it was extremely rushed at certain parts. Not so much the death. I did like how they kind of showed that for like 5-10 minutes and then moved forward.
Yeah.
But this movie's about grief. And grief takes a long time. And I feel like we weren't shown enough grief. And I don't want like grief.
And that's where I'll counteract this, whatever you're talking about, with we never got to sit there and grieve because everything was happening so fast. So
yes.
So there was a lot of conflicting battles within a certain person that were happening because she never got to sit down. They never got to sit down and grieve.
And I felt like that was a cop-out. Not for that character. Mm-hmm. but because no one else is shown grieving, it's not just the one character. It's like, it happened, we're moving forward, we're going to show you the same stupid Marvel fights that we show you all the time. It's going to look bad because it's going to be bad CGI because we abuse our CGI artists. And it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. Instead of taking time to study characters and how they process with things, we're going to push forward to a fault. And I think that the problem with that was that it takes the rest of the movie after his death takes place a year after his death. And I feel like if we saw in between there a little more, it would have made the payout at the end more. But by the time that the grieving actually takes place, it's only maybe 5 minutes tops, and it's subpar at best. And that's when I feel like they took the archive footage of Chadwick Boseman overboard. I feel like it's used tastefully at a certain point, and then it is just like over and over and over and over shots. And
felt like more it was for us than it was for the character.
Yes, and it wasn't even. That's the thing. It wasn't meaningful shots. It was just like shots that are from the legitimately from the trailer of Black Panther 1, and that's kind of where it lost me. Is that it tried to be this emotional thing, and certain parts were, but it didn't go as far as I wanted to. Benedict Cumberbatch recently said that finding any emotional depth in Marvel movies is difficult, and this just proved that. You had the emotional depth handed to you on a platter, and you threw it out.
Yeah.
And I really wish that they would have explored that more, especially when the theme is grieving. Again, that's just my opinion. I feel like it was a missed opportunity. And that is why this really kind of fell in my expectations. I didn't have extremely high expectations before, but I had more expectations than I normally do. So it just kind of, it was disappointing in that sense. I do love the two cultures they show. It's not just like America and Europe. It's ancient Mayans. It's not even modern day Mexico. It's ancient Mayans and Wakanda, of course, which is a unification of multiple African cultures. So it's really, that was really cool about it. And I liked the actor who played Namor. He was really good.
But I also liked that it necessarily, you know how all Marvel movies, they're like the hero and the villain are basically the same fucking thing, and then they fight. I liked how, in a way, this wasn't really that. Yeah. But in a way, they're connected to make it feel like that in a way. But it wasn't. They weren't like the
how
same.
Iron Man fights Iron Man three different times.
Or Black Panther fought Black Panther in the last one.
Black Panther fought Black Panther.
This
Captain America fights Winter Soldier, which is essentially just Russian Captain America.
Yeah.
Even though I know that there is a Russian Soviet captain or whatever his name is, but
this was nice because it felt at least different on that ground. Like they weren't just like, oh, I know who you are, and I'm going to fight you because I have the same fucking powers, you bastard. Yeah. This was a little
you bastard.
This was a little bit on different grounds.
Yeah.
Which was nice. Yeah. For at least a change, but it felt kind of copy paste with how Marvel is, and just their 65 different other movies.
Yeah. They're like, we gotta get these scenes done so we can continue abusing our CGI artists. That's my biggest takeaway from this is that it's just a missed opportunity with more emotional depth. They could have really taken the emotion of Marvel to the next level. Yes, if you're a huge fan of these characters, Endgame and Infinity War were super emotional, but when you're a cynic like me and knew everything was going to be all right, and then the people that did die in Endgame, you're like, that makes sense, their contract's done. Move on. They really could have taken this movie as a chance to even exceed the emotional depth of Endgame, which in my opinion there isn't really that much. And the one that is there is very forced. Again, not a Marvel fan. Please don't come at me. But I just wish it could have been more. I feel like Chadwick deserved more. I love the dedication that they made it to him, but the story is lacking. The credits felt more of a dedication to him than the actual movie did. But I guess I just wanted something different than what other people probably wanted, because I'm sure people are going to love this. And that's fine. You don't need to agree with me.
I think it was an appropriate sequel that it didn't overstep its boundary too much, and it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
It actually
I agree with that.
It could have been way worse.
It could have been, yeah.
But I think it was pretty good for what it had served on its own plate there, especially with Chadwick passing.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
I don't really have too much else to say. Wish it had more surprising elements to it. The surprising elements there were not that surprising.
And we're such in an early phase of this new act of, I forget what the actual words they're using. We're in a new phase where it's the beginning of all of this again, and so we're building up to all this other stuff again. So it's gonna be
the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird for
it's
a while.
It's all gonna lead up to Jonathan Majors or whatever, probably.
Because they mentioned mutant in this movie.
Yeah.
I think this is the first movie they actually mentioned mutant. I could be wrong.
And then with
in the series they have, but I don't know.
With Jonathan Majors, it's probably going to be exactly like Thanos, where like he really gives the new Avengers a run for their money, and then of course they solve it, and the most obvious person is going to die in the end, probably. So death still doesn't matter in the MCU because it's never shocking and never meaningful, in my opinion.
You heard it here first, folks, on Channel 5.
Yes, but ratings, I guess. I want you to go first. Here were you.
I just looked it up. I gave Black Panther a 4. I think I would give this a 3.5. I want to lean 4, but if I gave Black Panther a 4, I'm definitely not giving this a 4, because this was just like a step below.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Mike's a little different. I don't know how he's gonna. But I think a 3.5 is good. I thought they handled it well. I thought a lot of the stuff was cool, especially the culture not differences, but having two major cultures there was pretty cool.
Would have liked to see more of the Mayan culture.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe even if it was just in flashbacks, it would have been cool.
But I mean, the good news is that we're gonna be getting that in the future. We got Namor, so that's a pretty big character in the whole MCU.
Yeah. I am gonna give this a 2.5.
That's a whole point difference.
That's a big difference for us.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not an MCU fan. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. You're welcome to disagree with me. I'm fine with that. Like, honestly, I don't care enough about Marvel to really mind if people disagree with me. I'm just kind of over it at this point. And honestly, I wish The Fabelmans came out this week, because I would have seen that instead. Yeah. But it didn't, at least near us. It was limited release.
Those bastards.
But yeah, 2.5 out of 5. I'm sure many people disagree. Again, that's fine. Let us know what you thought about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever down below in the comments. And we will see you next week, I guess.
I think so.
Wow. Another movie review.
You have fun out there, okay, kids?
Smooches.
Oh, right on the forehead. Bye-bye.
Bye.